Let us chant this mantra. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kovi viriritam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadatam bhuvi grinanti e bhuridajanaha. Now, in our last class, we have discussed about the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He mentioned about that one should inherit some good tendencies. This is spiritual life. This is transformation of our thoughts, and thoughts are there in our mind. So the transformation changes upwards. That is the main thing. And how we can go through thoughts. And what are the thoughts? So all the divine qualities that a human being could conceive, it has been listed over there. And last time we have discussed 26 wonderful qualities. And those qualities, slowly, we must keep it just in our front every time. We should look at it and judge. Are we really following it? Can I do it? Can I do it? So this is the way called spiritual practices. The spiritual practices doesn't mean that we have to go and ring the bell and only offer the flower and then that is over. Or we go and chant some mantra, and we were visiting a church, we saw some of the very faithfuls, they are sitting over there. One is repeating a prayer, everybody is repeating same mantra, same prayer, together they are going on praying. It's good. We will come to that. Today's topic is, does God listen to our prayer? We will be discussing about that. And just before, maybe an hour before, one gentleman came, he asked this question. This very question. And I opened the book and found, yeah. So this is, does God listen to our prayer? We will come to that. But before that, we must remember, friends, the last week we have discussed elaborately, as nicely as possible, as simply as possible, all the good qualities. What I feel, that we should keep those qualities written in a paper, should keep in a pocket, and now and then we should open it and see what are the good qualities. And then immediately we should try to understand, am I following any of it? Am I developing any of it? Now I am at this age. What are the qualities I can develop? This is the easiest way to develop the spirituality. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, he's telling, if you have inherited some good qualities, if you have done something good in your life, you are going to get the same good result in your life. And he is giving the example of the Draupadi, the Pandava queen, and she was in a very difficult situation that to humiliate her, they were trying, Duryodhana ordered her to take off the clothes. So that was a very humiliating situation, and that time she was only praying to the God, the Krishna, to help her, not to her husbands, to the God, the Krishna. Her husbands were very powerful, but she knew that this is the situation, the husbands cannot help me, so to the God. And the story goes in this way, the God asked her, have you done anything good? Now you need the clothing to save your modesty. Have you ever donated any cloth to anyone? She remembered, yes, I have done it. I have given to a Brahman when he was in difficulty. Immediately God started giving all the blessings and her modesty was protected. We know that wonderful story, like a miracle. And it happens to our lives again and again. The gentleman who was asking me the question, he himself said, I cannot imagine from the situation, the condition that I was, from where to where I have reached. It is not just for me, it is God's grace. Even then he is asking a question, does God listen to the prayer? So why? This is also very interesting. Because sometimes we think, oh yes, God will listen to us. God has given the answer to my prayer. And again after some time, we forget that. The doubt creeps in our mind. So that is called the Maya. Constantly, 100%, the faith, the belief, God is there and God is going to protect me. That is the ultimate spiritual life. He is giving that example. Try to remember whether you have ever made a gift of a cloth to anyone. The Krishna is asking Draupadi in that difficult situation. Then your modesty will be preserved. Draupadi replied, yes, I remember now. Once a rishi was taking his bath and his loincloth was carried away by the current. I tore off half of my cloth and gave it to him. Thereupon the Lord said, then you have nothing to fear. You have nothing to fear. That means you must inherit some good qualities. The last time we were reading, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you must inherit some good qualities. Some good thing you must do. Then only you can expect that God will help you. So this once he is telling. Then he is asking, the M was sitting on a small foot rug. M means the writer. He was almost in the door that there, the foot rug. He was sitting on that. So the very humble person, and master asking him, you have understood what I said? Then he said, yes sir, you spoke about the inherent tendencies. Master, repeat what I said. Why? So here also the yesterday that we read and we discussed, repeat. Why repeat? You will find that every time the repetition, when we were learning the mathematics, when we were all children, the teacher used to ask us to memorize. You must repeat, going on repeating. By that way, it goes into our intellect and then the whole personality develops on that. Repeat what I said. And here the Master Mahashaya, Sri Ramakrishna, knew that he is going to give the whole teaching to the world. He is teaching, Sri Ramakrishna is teaching. There should not be any mistake. So Master Mahashaya, he narrated that. Then Hazra entered the room. Master Mahashaya now giving the description of the Hazra. He had been living with Sri Ramakrishna in the temple garden for the past 2 years and had first met the master in 1880 at Shihor in the house of Hridaya. Hridaya, his nephew, the master's nephew. Hazra, as a Brahmin, is an educated person, and about him the Master Mahashaya is giving this example, giving the description of the Hazra. Why? We will come to know about it. Hazra's native village was near Shihor. Shihor is the place, and he owned some property there. He had a wife and children and also some debts. So he took loan from someone and now he is trying to repay. From youth he had felt the spirit of renunciation and sought the company of holy men and devotees. Look at it. This is the line, the sentence for which Sri Ramakrishna allowed him to stay with him. From the young days, from the youth, he wanted to renounce and to live in the company of the holy men and devotees, Ajra. The master had asked him to live with him at Dakshineshwar and looked after his necessities. Another sentence. Very simple. Master, that means the Sri Ramakrishna, he allowed him to stay over there. Sri Ramakrishna was not the owner of the temple. Sri Ramakrishna used to stay over there, and he was a priest, like many other priests, but he was very special. So naturally, the landlord, the Jamindar, Mathur Babu, and Rani Rashmani, they gave him a lot of freedom, lot of respect. So Master Sri Ramakrishna, he allowed him to stay with him. This is in one way. And other way, spiritually we can think, if you have the desire to live with the holy people and to live a spiritual life, God will arrange it. For sure. Only you need the desire, strong desire to realize God, to live in the holy company. God will arrange it. Hazra's mind was a jumble of undigested religious moods. This is very important. The Hazra was having the good habit, and he was also desiring to realize God. God gave him the opportunity, but the problem again with the mind. What type of mind? This is a jumble of undigested religious moods. He professed the path of knowledge and disapproved of Sri Ramakrishna's attitude of bhakti and his longing for the young devotees. He is coming and staying with Sri Ramakrishna. At the same time, after reading some of the scriptures and not understanding it properly, he is confused. And now he is not even appreciating the way Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was living. So this is the confusion. Well, this is not Hazra. This is all our attitude. Look at our mind. Sometimes we read some books, then immediately we think we know everything, and we start comparing with others also. This we have seen, in our lives also we have seen. Some people, they have studied and then they will say, come, let us discuss about it, debate and all those things. Nowadays even some people, after they have the command over the language, they will be speaking, and they will invite the monks also, come, let us debate. And like this, what is? So this way they think, there's nothing wrong, it's a one way. But the sincere people, what they should do, that we are going to know from the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He disapproved Sri Ramakrishna. Now and then he thought of the Master as a great soul. But again, the doubt, he starts doubting him as an ordinary human being. Look at it. And now if we look at our mind, it happens like this all the time. Sometimes we are thinking he's a great soul, and sometimes we are thinking no, he's an ordinary person. So this is the problem always we have. He spent much of his time in telling his beads and criticized Rakal and the other young men for their indifference to the practice. He was a strong advocate of religious conventions and rules of conduct and made a fad of them. He was about 38 years old. As Hazra came in, the master became little abstracted and in that mood began to talk. Master Maharaj has dedicated a para about the Hazra. Why? If he recorded only the conversation of Sri Ramakrishna with the Hazra, we won't be able to understand. Now, after so many 100 years, if we just try to understand why Sri Ramakrishna started talking like this, so Master Moshe gave the background on the person. And when we look at the person, most of us are like that. So we have read and we think that we have understood, and then sometimes we are behaving like this, sometimes behaving like that. And the Vedanta, it is really can make you and mar you. So one should be very careful. And Vedanta says, oh, you are the God, you are the soul. Kim rodashi saki, tui sarva shakti. Why you are praying and crying? You are the supreme power. After reading that, we start feeling, oh yes, but what is that you? You are the supreme being, you are the supreme power, thou art that. But what is that? And what is me? No preparation, nothing. Suddenly we jump to that and make a lot of confusion about the spiritual goal. Of course, some people, just for the intellectual way of enjoyment, they read, they try to understand, they are not very serious about realization or to understand the truth. For them it is okay. We always talk about those small group, only small group of people who are sincerely trying. So Sri Ramakrishna's, the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the Panchama Veda that I always say is the book for them. They should be guided by this book. What you are doing is right in principle. Now, the Hazra, he is taking the name of God and criticizing others. And he is thinking that he is the person who is doing the right thing and all others are not doing that. Sri Ramakrishna, starting with that particular point, is telling what you are doing is right in principle, but the application is not quite correct. Application is not quite correct. Don't find fault with anyone, not even with an insect. As you pray to God for devotion, so also pray that you may not find fault with anyone. This is the basic of the spiritual life. In the beginning itself, we should understand this. I think we have already discussed that particular incident that happened with Ma Sharadamani Devi and the small little girl. She used to live in the neighborhood of the mother in Calcutta, in Bagbajar area. She used to come and she used to like Divine Mother very much. And when she found that the mother is preparing to travel to her village in Jairambati, she felt sad and she started crying and requesting not to go. Then, just to comfort her, mother told, "Do you love me?" "Yes." "How much?" She threw her both the hands to her side and she showed, "This much, this big, I like you, love you." The mother asked, so here this conversation between the Ma Sharada and the small little girl is the main teaching for us. We should understand, we should learn what mother wanted to tell through her to us. The mother said, "How I will know that you love me so much?" And she was confused. Then the mother told, "I will understand that you will love me so much if you can love each and every one in the same way." This is the first step. So narrow-minded attachment, I only love this person and his philosophy, the bigotry, that is the narrowness, that can never take us to the liberation. It cannot. So the mother is teaching us, I will understand that you love me so much if I see that you are loving each and every one equally. This is the first. She immediately replied, yes, okay, I will love. And naturally, the young girl, she told. Then the mother told, how I will understand that you are loving everyone like me? Then she was again confused. What should be the answer? Mother answered again, if I see that you are not expecting anything in return from anyone. Friends, these are the two teachings. So this is very, very important. But we have to understand that Ishtanishta. Ishtanishta means we should put our mind on one ideology. And then we should continue with that. Why? Because I can understand this. I can follow this. I like it. I love it. So that is my ideology. But it doesn't mean that I should hate others, criticize others, denounce others. No. Because all others are also manifestation of the same God. This basic thing, if we can understand, then spiritual life becomes truly very simple and very helpful. So the Sri Ramakrishna is asking the same thing to Hajra. He was living with Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna allowed him to stay with him. And not only that, provided everything, his food and stay and all other things that a person needed from the kachari, from that office, or temple office. Not only that, he never left on that. Now he is guiding the person. This is called Guru. Naturally, we could say, oh, I have given you, then you stay with the Hazra used to criticize Sri Ramakrishna, sitting over there. The people who used to come to Sri Ramakrishna, Hazra, why are you going? He doesn't read any book. He doesn't know how to read the scripture. Come to me. I know, I read the books. Look at this. This Hazra, Sri Ramakrishna was helping him. But this Hazra, again, not only criticizing, not only ignoring Sri Ramakrishna, also criticizing his devotees before the devotees. So this is the important. And what was the attitude of Sri Ramakrishna? He used to say, unless Jyotile Kutile, you know the two characters in the Ramayana, the Jyoti, if they are not there, then how you will understand a holy person? So there should be critics. There should be people who are not liking you. Then only you can judge your spirituality. You are not feeling at all bad with their behavior. So you can understand, well, now I can control my senses. Slowly I am gaining over my mind. So these are the tests. Sri Ramakrishna in his own life, he is showing like this. Then this Hazra is asking this question. What is the topic of today's discussion? Does God listen to prayer? And he is adding for bhakti. Does God listen to our prayer for bhakti? Hazra never believed in God. But even then he is asking this question. And what is the prayer? Prayer means interacting with God. You will wonder, prayer is the main thing of spiritual practice in every religion. Prayer is the main practice in every religion. You know the Christians, their whole edifice stands on prayer. For everything, mass prayer. For everything they will have the prayer. Anyone in difficulty immediately says, we'll pray for you. In the Christianity, that is there. The prayer for all people, that is also a prayer. Asato mam sadgamaya, tamaso mam jyotirgamaya. This is a prayer. In the Vedic time, so they used to say that from the asato, asat means the temporary, from asat to sat, from the permanent. All this world that we see are temporary. Everything is taking birth, living and dying. This circle is going on. So from these, let me please go to, help me to reach over there in the permanent. What is the permanent? Atman, according to Vedanta, God, according to devotion. So like that they say, this was the prayer. Tamaso mam jyoti gamaya, from the ignorance to knowledge. To whom? To me and also to all people. For whom I am praying? Praying for everyone. This is called mass prayer. Sarvastaratu durgani sarvavadrani pashyatu. Mass prayer. Let each and everyone be free from the misery, etc. Then comes praising of the Lord. The Lord, sometimes we chant also, Yasya smarana matrena janma samsara bandhanat vimuchyate namastashmai Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. And what is that? Oh, it's the Supreme God. And just by remembering the Supreme God, we are free. We get the liberation. So, like this, God is all pervading, God is all powerful, God is all merciful. We are praising the God. Most of the prayers are praising the God. If you, at the time of puja, if you come, when they are offering the mantra, all the praising of God. You are good, you are this, you are that, all adjectives. That's also prayer. The gunas, Ramakrishna said, Nama, Guna, Kirtana. The Nama, the name, and the Guna, the qualities of that particular Godhead, that particular person whom we are accepting as God and worshipping and meditating and concentrating and following. That person or that God, that deity should have some good qualities. And if we are remembering those good qualities, then only it is helping us. So this he is telling, the praising the God. And also there are individual prayer. This is very important. When we are praying individually, we are going and asking the God, I am suffering, can you please? Now, sometimes some people, those who are reading the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's biography and his teaching, sometimes they think that because Sri Ramakrishna constantly asking us, why you are praying for the ordinary things? Pray for the devotion. Pray for your mukti. That is the ultimate prayer. But this very moment, oh God, I need a morsel of food. I like to survive. I like to live. Where I will go to pray? Except God, where I will go? There is a story. The one beggar went to a king. And naturally the king's people, they wept. King is praying. The beggar was waiting and he was listening that the king is praying to the God, oh God, give me wealth and give me more power. Then the beggar turned and he was going back. The king's prayer was over. He stood up and, hey, what is it? You didn't talk to me. What is your prayer? Oh no, I will pray to him whom you are praying. Why should I take from another beggar? I will directly go to the owner. Data ek Ram. There's a Hindi song is there and it says this, Data ek Ram. The Ram, the God, is the only giver. All others, no. Why should I go to a person? I will directly go to God. So this is the personal prayer. Sometimes some of our devotees are confused. Shall we pray for our son, daughter, family, and the personal problem. Can we? Why not? When you are accepting God as your guide, as your father, as your mother, then why not? So, to where I will go? I am afraid. So, where I will go? I will go to my mother. I will go to my father. I will pray to them only. Please come and protect me. Sometimes some devotees, they say, I am feeling afraid. I am to sleep all alone. In the particular, there is no light. And so I am really, really afraid. What to do? Now think of Goddess Kali. She is the powerful mother. She will come and protect you. You know that in our childhood days, all children are afraid of ghosts. Then they used to teach us, take the name of Mahavira, Hanumanji. Hanumanji is so powerful. And if the Hanumanji is with you, then all this evil spirit won't be able to touch you. This is the prayer for everyone. The Muslims are also praying, Christians are praying, Hindus are praying. This is the prayer. And what is that prayer? Communion. We are communicating with God mentally, and sometimes we are doing externally. We are offering food, we are offering flower, incense sticks, light, and then we are praying. But Sri Ramakrishna said, afterwards we will come, when the Hazra is asking this question, does God listen to our prayer for bhakti? Now listen to the answer of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Surely, I can assure you of that 100 times. After reading this sentence, even if we think, oh, God will listen to me? No, then your prayer, God cannot. So because Ramakrishna is coming to that point too. But the prayer must be genuine and earnest. Genuine and earnest. So that is the prayer. I can assure you of that 100 times. But the prayer must be genuine and earnest. Otherwise not. The genuine and earnest means that sometimes, even in the movies we have seen, somebody is sick and he has been admitted in the hospital. His near and dear one is going to the temple, nearby temple, and praying and praying and praying, and then suddenly the news comes, oh, the operation is successful, he has come back to life, and all this. There's a story, I do not know whether it is true, but many of the people, they have heard about it, and they are sending it to other people also. One little girl, she went to the hospital for the operation, and the doctor told, you need not to be afraid of this. I am going to take good care of you. Then the little girl told, no doctor, I am not afraid. I know you are very good. You will operate properly. But doctor uncle, I have heard from my mother that God lives within my heart, and you are going to open my chest and to see the heart. When I come back to life again, the consciousness, can you please tell me where God was and how does he look? Then naturally the doctor told, I do not know, but I will try. He started operating, but it was impossible. He thought it is not much complication, and there was a lot of complications. After the opening of the heart, and the doctor found it is impossible. It's a lost case. He tried his best. But then afterwards, he threw open at the time of operation, they put on all those things, and he started crying and telling, oh, I am sorry, I could not help that little girl. And naturally, other nurses, they were almost going to remove all the apparatuses and machines that was used for the operation. And suddenly someone noticed, no, the heart is working. It was showing over there. And immediately they reported to the doctor, doctor, please come back. Heart is working. Dr. ran back over there and he saw, yes. And he couldn't understand how it was possible. Anyway, operation was successful. The girl came back into life. And then the little girl, when she came back to consciousness, was in a condition to speak, asked, Dr. Uncle, could you see the God inside my heart? The doctor told, my dear, I couldn't see the God because I am not that pure. But I can tell you one thing, I have developed great faith in God because of you. So this is the prayer. So when we are having the complete faith in the existence of God, know it for sure. But sometimes, which is certain, which is even going to happen, even the God will never be able to stop it. The one incident we can remember, the Sri Ramakrishna, he was dying. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he told that I will pass within few days. Ma Sharadamani Devi went to a Shiva temple, very famous Shiva temple near Calcutta, and Tarakeshwar. If you go to visit Calcutta, you will pass through that to the Jairambati Kamarpukur. There's in between, there's a Tarakeshwar, very famous Shiva temple. Thousands of people will go to see that Shiva. Mother went over there. Without any food and water, she was praying and praying and praying to the Lord Shiva to give back the life for her husband, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Now one night, when she was lying down and praying, she heard that someone is breaking the earthen pots. Hearing the sound of breaking of the earthen pots, immediately the knowledge dawned in her. She understood this body is just like the earthen pots. Now time will come when it will break and we have to go. Immediately the all association, it went back and went completely erased from her mind, and she got up and came back. Then Sri Ramakrishna told, what? You went over there to pray, right? But nobody heard. Who will hear this? Sri Ramakrishna himself is the God. That he wanted to give up that human life, human body. So naturally he knew that nothing is going to happen over there. But still the mother, so obviously the wife, she wanted to save them. So that sometimes the prayer are not answered. Remember this. Sometimes we are frustrated. Oh, God is not listening to my prayer. Even the prayer of Ma Sharadamani Devi, the goddess, the all power, whom Sri Ramakrishna said, she is my Shakti, God's power. Even when she was praying, that was also not answered by the God himself, because there are something which is going to happen and it will happen. So we have to accept that too. So these are the prayers. And when you meditate, that is the fulfillment of the prayer. The prayer is a mass prayer for the development and the welfare of everyone, individual prayer, the prayer in praising God, and prayer in meditation. That is the fulfillment, the ultimate of prayer. When you are praying, and slowly we are transforming into that Godhead, that personality. That is the fulfillment of the prayer. Those who worship over here, if you come in the morning, you will find it starts with remembering the Lord Vishnu, who is pure. Why pure? Because he is not having the body. He is not having any limitation. All powerful. Om Vishnu, Om Vishnu, Om Vishnu, Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. Sada Pashyanti Sura, Divi Vachakshuratatam. Apavitra pavitro va sarvavastagato viva. Yas maret pundarikaksham sabhaya abhantara shuchi. He becomes the externally and internally pure, who is all pervading consciousness. How? Just by remembering. And remembering means I too belong to that. I am not separate. This is also prayer. And then right from the fingertips, each and every body parts, you will find they will put in hand like this, like this, like this, like this, everywhere. Both the eyes, the nose and the ear and the body, everything they will be doing like this. What do they do? Purifying, purifying, purifying. That is also prayer. Purify myself. Why? So that I can pray to you. To whom? The embodiment of the purity. God is the embodiment of the purity. That is also prayer. Then ultimately, he is praying to the God. I know that you are residing within my heart. You don't have any form. But I want to concentrate on this particular form today, just before me. Please come out. See, he will take that flower and imagine the God is coming from his body and then sitting over there on the water. And then he will say, Yagacha, Yagacha, Yatishta, Yatishta. Come here, sit here, and accept my prayer, accept my puja. So the beautiful way the Hindus have developed this puja. If one learns this, the books are available. If one goes through that, forget about the mantras, only meaning of the mantras if you read and try to practice, you will feel that yes, something is happening. This is also prayer. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling, surely I can assure you of that 100 times, but the prayer must be genuine and earnest. And he is going on telling the Hazra. Hazra was about to take the dust of the Master's feet. After hearing that, his devotion came immediately and he wanted to touch the feet of the Master. Master shrinking. Look at it. Sri Ramakrishna going back, not allowing him to touch the feet, his holy person. Shrinking. What is this? Hasra. Why should I not take the dust of his feet, who has so kindly kept me with him? Look at it again. Kept me with him. So I am taking the dust, not because I accept your ideology or the philosophy or the teaching. Okay, you have allowed me to stay over here. So I am expressing my thanks. Master, satisfy God and everyone will be satisfied. Attitude, this is very, very important. Attitude. There's sometimes, I already told to our congregation, there's sometimes some of our devotees, they make the wrong thing, they misunderstand me. That when I ask them, if you can afford, please pay whatever the ashram is charging for the retreat. $125. Those who can pay. Sometimes some young American 3-4 people, they came. I told whatever they give, it's okay. If they don't give, it's also okay. Because the young people, they are coming, it's good. Sometimes the students are coming, I told 1/4. Just to make the habit that you are supposed to give something to the ashram, as Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself said, empty hand you should not go to a holy place. You should take something, maybe a flower, maybe some fruit, maybe some sweets, like that. Whatever they like to give. Sometimes $10, sometimes $25 they give. So it's sufficient. Not that they are not earning, they get, but from their little. But those who are earning, okay, $125, give. Sometimes they whisper, I can hear, why Swami is charging us? We are working so much as a volunteer. You are not volunteer. So this is the question, this is the attitude you should understand. I am lovingly giving my service to God. And in exchange, if I think I will stay here free, I will eat free, and I will attend the discussions and discourses free, you can. But you are not a volunteer then. In exchange, you are receiving something. Sometimes some people say, we attended your retreat, give us some certificate so that we can get some tax benefit. Immediately from the office they will say, no, that is not a donation. In exchange you have accepted some benefit. So obviously that cannot be treated as a donation. As per the law, cannot be treated as a donation. So these are the little things. If you go to some other place, I don't know. But when you are in a holy place and with an attitude to develop your spirituality, these are the small little things you must learn. And why I say that? Suppose I don't say, not that the ashrama will close down. Someone will come and pay. Because Sri Ramakrishna is sitting, it's not for me. It will continue. Once in any place he sits, it will continue. So that is the way. But why I say? Because that is my dharma. I know the people will criticize me if I say, no, you need not to pay. It is okay. The people will say, it is so good. This Swami is so kind. He is not charging anything. I will gain all my name, but I will be losing in my duties. So that's why it's a kadwa sat in Hindi may say that though bitter, it's better to tell, because those devotees are the children of God and I am here to look after them. So obviously I see like that. Satisfy God and everyone will be satisfied. And how to satisfy? These are the processes. Now he said, if he is pleased, the world is pleased. In Sanskrit, they say, Tasmin tushti jagat tushta. Tasmin means the God. If his tushta is satisfied, jagat tushta. And sometimes we invite people and then feed them, and then after all that, we stand at the gate to see them off, expecting that they will say, oh, what a great party you have given and we are so happy, food was good, company was good. If they don't say, and from the invitation list their name will be struck off. Oh, they didn't praise us, they don't appreciate. So everything is lost, and sometimes you will hear the people are talking against that. But if you go for God, if you try to please God, everybody will be happy. Sometimes the singers, they come and they will be singing for the others. They may like it, they may not. But if they sing for God, and if the God likes that song, everyone will like it. So we understand this in our everyday life, we experience it. But at the same time, the basic thing we do not develop, that is faith, and faith in the existence of God. And the moment we will develop the faith, God is there, then we will understand, as Sri Ramakrishna is telling, surely I can assure you, your prayer will be listened by the God, answered by the God. But, I am satisfied, said the Lord Krishna. Again is giving the reference from the Mahabharata. A group of people came, they are all Brahmins, the rishis, and Durvasha Muni was there. And they came, and suddenly they came into the cottage. That time they were living in the forest, all the Panchapandavas. They came to Draupadi and said, we are hungry, give us food. And Draupadi was embarrassed. She was not having anything. Again she prayed to the God, please help me. The God appeared and told, is there any little food left? She told, maybe, I'll try to find. It was small, only one portion of that was there. She gave it to the God, and God took it and said, "Ah, I am satisfied." Immediately the hundreds of those rishis, they felt fully satisfied and they fled from there. Oh my God, we won't be able to sit and eat now. And if she offers us food, what will happen? So they left. So this is Tasmin Tushta Jagat Tushta. And to Hazra, a perfect soul, even after attaining knowledge, practices devotion or observe religious ceremonies to set an example to others. Friends, this is very, very important. Even after the realization, through the path of knowledge, realization of the Atman, the perfected soul, he follows the devotional path and all the activities of the religious way. Why? For the devotees. So this we must understand, for the devotees. That's why Swami Vivekananda used to worship. He was the embodiment of Shiva. He was the master in knowledge, but he never ever denied. This we understand. And he is telling a perfect soul, even after attaining knowledge, practice devotion or observe religious ceremonies to set an example to others. Then he said, I go to the Kali temple and I bow before the holy pictures in my room. Therefore, others do the same. Further, if a man has become habituated to such ceremonies, he feels restless if he does not observe them. So practicing that. The one should not get up and then immediately go for a cup of coffee. Sitting on the bed itself, he should keep a holy picture before him or her. First he should open or she should open the eye, seeing the holy picture. Always we learn from the seniors. Don't see anything else. Sometimes we carry the photo of Sri Ramakrishna and I always keep by the side of the pillow. The moment our sleep is broken, at least I follow that. I always take out just before me, then I open the eyes. The first thing I should see is God and God alone. And then only I will come down taking the name of God, and whatever I am doing, going on taking the name of God. I have seen one Swami who has passed away. He was in Portland. I was living with him for 3-4 days. I used to hear the early morning he will get up and go on chanting the name of God and singing and musing like that. Then he is going, plucking the flowers and preparing for the puja continuously. That is called spiritual practice. That is called spiritual practices. Constantly remembering God. You remember that? The wonderful words the Ma Sharadamani said. What is spiritual practices? What is tapasya? Austerity. Somehow you have to keep your mind at the feet of God. That's all. So by singing bhajan, remembering God, or chanting, or taking the name of God, or reading constantly, if it is possible, 1 or 2 hours in the morning, then you are going out, you may try to forget God, but God will be with you. Why? In the subconscious mind, all the wonderful impressions of the morning practices that you have done, it will continue with you. That is the greatest prayer. Always communicating with God. Wherever you go, you will. I knew one doctor. Whenever he used to enter he was a heart surgeon. For the operation he used to enter, he used to keep one book, Swami Vivekananda's book in his pocket, small book. And he will go and open and read, and then he will start operation. I told, my God, you should be attentive to your own duty. No, Swamiji. Tremendous pressure comes on the mind. So I take the mind completely differently in the God's way, and in God's feet. God is there, Swamiji is there, Swamiji will be taking care. then I go on operation without any pressure. So these people are scientific people, but still they are taking the help of God just to avoid the pressure, and the result is great. Very, very successful result. One cannot renounce work as long as one has a body. As long as there is mud at the bottom of the lake, bubbles will be produced. To Hazra, and with this we will conclude. If there is knowledge of one, there is also knowledge of many. So we talk about the Advaita Vedanta, knowledge of one. If you are having, this is the most subtlest point of the Vedanta. The moment you are having the conception of one, then you are having the conception of many. Obviously. It is not the conception of one, it is only existence. Asti, 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 iti. It is there and I am that. That's all. So Advaita, it is not only the negation, but it is negation in the point. It is not two. It never says one. It says it is not two. What it is, that it is. So this is called the very subtle point of the Advaita Vedanta. Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning that if there is knowledge of one, there is also knowledge of many. What will you achieve by mere study of scriptures? The scriptures contain a mixture of sand and sugar, as it were. It is extremely difficult to separate the sugar from the sand. Therefore, one should learn the essence of the scriptures from the teacher or from a sadhu. Afterwards, what does one care for books? This is also very important. Those who have not followed in their life, and if they teach you, that teaching will also have no benefit. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning one should learn from a teacher. Teacher means those who have practiced it. And then very clearly from a sadhu. Sadhu means a saintly person, a person who is dedicated to that life. Afterwards, what does one care for the book? So the book is nothing but a map. From the maps we know that this is the way we should go. And after reaching over there, we don't need that. So this is the teaching of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. But one thing is very, very clear. Does God listen to our prayer? Following the words of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, following the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, we can say with great confidence, yes, God does. Thank you. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhita vikraham vai Ishavataram parameshamityam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.